all. I'm Shashina Gold. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news. Police on Grand Bahama uncovering an illegal firearm in Limewood Lane. According to reports around 7 o'clock last evening, officers on a tip conducted a search of the area and found a handgun in a derelict building. Investigations are continuing. In other news, a decision by the Ministry of Education involving one of the island's largest public institutions reportedly having a positive impact, Joan Davis-Roll reports.
Principal of the Jack Haywood High School is calling the decision by the Ministry of Education to divide the school and relocate junior high school students to the former Catholic High School campus as the best decision ever.
You can see the difference immediately. On day one, we saw the difference. First of all, the campus was a bit more quiet. Secondly, we don't seem to have the crowding. So the kids are moving more freely, and you don't have that altercations, someone bumping into me or whatever. I find that you be able to, the discipline is at an all-time. We don't have many discipline problems because we don't have as many children. You don't have the senior students fooling with the younger ones, the problem with the boys, bothering with the little girls and all. We don't have that problem. It's not like that anymore. Okay, so a lot of it has its pros and cons, of course, but I think basically it was the best thing to do. It was a great decision.
Now, with greater focus given to the educational process, there's a clarion call being made for more parental involvement.
We are now concentrating on our 10th graders with a national high school diploma, and that is what we need to work on, because we find that a lot of them are below standard where they should be. As you know, they need 4 BJCs in order to graduate, and so that's what we're working on. I find that the parents are not doing pushing them like they should and giving them the support that they need in order to acquire those 4 BJCs. We ask them to sign up, and a lot of them still have not signed up for the BJCs that they need.
Ward says the school mission is not only to improve that so-called D average, but also prepare students for that great university called life.
Education is there, it's available, it's free, but our students are not taking advantage of what is available to them. And that is what we're pushing them this year. We have a really good job readiness program and also college readiness program. So more of our students are signing up to go to college this year. You find that they're more focused. I find that the kids are a little more focused this year than they were in years gone by. And that's something because they realize now it's up to you. You can't depend on mommy, you have to do it for yourself. You have to want it for yourself. So it's there, it's available, they just have to take advantage of it and stay focused.
The veteran educator says that students must realize that for the most part, they hold the key to their success.
I don't think they're taking it as seriously as they should, especially the children. And I think they feel as if it's going to be business as usual, but I don't think so. It's not going to happen. If you don't get those requirements, you don't meet the requirements, you will not graduate. You will not get that national high school diploma. And that's something that we have to push and work on with our 10th graders. But overall, our 11th and 12th graders have done extremely well this first term.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News. In other news, strong winds associated with an approaching cold front were too much for an American couple passing through Bahamian waters. The vessel they were traveling on crashed into rocks near the channel in West End, and they were able to escape without injuries. Tonight, our Megan Shepard talks with a couple who are grateful to be alive.
They were high school sweethearts whom separated, and as fate would have it, they reunited years later. And now their plan was to sail to the U.S. Virgin Islands to get married. Deborah Faust and Lenny Piccolo left Florida 4 a.m. yesterday morning in beautiful weather conditions, but at only 4 miles away from West End yesterday afternoon, Deborah says a storm suddenly came upon them.
So after we put on our foul weather gear, Lenny took the helm of the boat, and I was the navigator calling on the radio, etc. But the storm was intense. We probably had 40-mile-an-hour winds, 5 to 7 foot seas, and by this time it was dark from the storm, etc. We could not see where we were going, and we focused on the navigational beacons coming into the marina, And I think what happened was we didn't realize that we were running parallel to the shore, and we were being overcome by broadside waves. But Lenny held the boat, and he brought her in, and we just did not see the jetty. And we ran aground slightly, and then we ran bow forward into the jetty.
Foss says it was dark when their boat crashed onto the rocks and they jumped off of the boat onto land. With some minor scratches, she says they are blessed just to be alive.
But when we were leaving yesterday, we were joking about life makes plans for you. While you're making plans, life is laughing at you. And we talked about how we always wanted to come to the Bahamas, and neither one of us had been here before. And as you know, we had a wedding dress in the boat, and we're intending to get married in March. So it wasn't part of the plan to be here, but we're embracing every part of it.
Lenny says since coming to the Bahamas, they have been given nothing but support and well wishes from resort staff and the residents in the West End community.
They've been great, fantastic. We walked into the lobby of the old Bahama Bay Resort here, soaking wet. They provided a free room, let us make phone calls to let our families know that they were alive and well. And from every single person we've met, they gave us another room tonight. And then the local citizens of the sailing people came, and I had no clothes. Everything I have on it was donated to me and my lovely fiancée. The BASRA is an organization here that helps victims of shipwrecks and things. They've come every step of the way, have helped me through the process with the Bahama Port Authority and getting the customs. I mean, I've never been treated so well even by the customs people.
The couple say this boating accident has only shown them how well they work together and what great partners they make. Foss says while she's not sure the wedding will take place here in the Bahamas, it will definitely happen.
Well, what it would take for us to get married in the Bahamas is the community to help us, because we actually have almost no idea where we are. And, well, I don't guess I need a white dress, but we need our documentation. And anyway, we're definitely still getting married.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, a woman is seeking justice tonight after a gruesome attack. The incident occurred over 10 years ago, and the victim says she has been living in fear ever since. She says she will not rest until those responsible are brought to justice. We warn that there are some graphic images in this story. The deep scars on her face reminds her of a brutal attack she endured some 13 years ago when her attackers left her for dead. Rebecca Pinnock says she's been living in the Bahamas for nearly 30 years, and on that fateful day, March 15, 2003, she caught a ride with a stranger who beat her and left her disfigured.
I live here. I don't trouble no one. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't steal, I don't borrow, I don't beg. Fortunate man have a me a ride, and he told me in my face, and I'm concerned is a woman sent him, and the woman went there, and the both of them get together to kill me. When I fell, they cutting up my face, I bawling for help. When I ripping my clothes off, I bawling for murder. They thought I did die, and they leave me.
She says it was 3 children on their way from school who discovered her badly beaten body.
3 children coming from school, right between Becky, and they found this naked woman in the bush, and they reported it and cry out for help. And they called the ambulance come and they brought by the hospital, and I was there in 4-day coma, because they left me to die.
Pinnock claims that she knows the female who was reportedly involved in setting up a strange driver to hurt her. She claims that after the incident, she went to the United States for further medical treatment, and since coming back to the Bahamas, she has been living in fear. Pinnock says she has seen the female perpetrator twice since this incident. She says justice is long overdue and is now calling on the authorities to reopen this case.
When I came back, I went to the police station 8 times, and I asked them to pick up the woman, pick her up. Some of them said they didn't know they came back. One of them said they can't find the file. I say, how you mean can I find the file? I leave at the roadside to die like a dog. I'm a human being came here. This cannot cover up. You have to open up. I need justice for my life. When I look at my body draining out to death. No food. And this happened the 15th of March 2003. And from 2003 till now, 13 years, I cannot sleep.
Well, we discussed the woman's claims with the authorities. Now, police officials say they investigate all matters brought before them, and they're inviting the victim in this case to contact police. Executives of the Bahamas Union of Teachers are back home following a trip to Cuba last week. While there, they participated in a conclave that attracted education officials from many countries around the world. Tonight, Sabrina Brown talks with a local representative about the mission.
The Bahamas joined 42 other countries in Cuba for a major education conference. Area Vice President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Quintin LaRoda, was a part of the Bahamian delegation.
We experienced it in two tiers. First, there was sessions to address pedagogy, teaching, methods and practices, materials, approach to learning and education. And then there was the establishing of relationship between the Cuban government and its officials and the dignitaries from the other countries that were invited. Our Minister of Education was also there, accompanied by the Deputy Director.
The BUT executive says they established good working relationships that could be beneficial to the Bahamas.
We established, I think, a better working relationship with the Teachers Union in Cuba. The Vice President and Secretary General of that union met with our acting president, and we have, I think, established some lasting ties. We also met with a lot of the teachers. Some of them are university professors. As you know, the Bahamas recruits from Cuba, and I think we were able to lay the groundwork to get some good prospects for the next school year, particularly in the technical and vocational area.
The union leader says culture was a big part of that mission to Cuba, and he's hoping the Bahamas can adopt the same level of appreciation for culture.
Cuban music and culture is a daily activity in that country, and I think that Bahamian music and culture should be daily activities in ours. And so these are the things that in the small platform that I have, that I would like to push for. I'd like to see a movement towards. It's exciting to see people excited about their heritage, and I want us to have that same degree of excitement that I see when I travel. I think we are beautiful people. We have a history to be proud of.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, there's more news right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Circle Mall was busier than usual during the Pretty Little Secret Business Expo as local vendors and small business owners shared their very own pretty little secrets. Our Kimberly Mullings was there.
Everything could be found at the expo, from makeup artists, authors, straw work, handmade jewelry, to haircare products, electronics, and even cupcakes. Event coordinator Davina Rutherford says it's important to shop at home. It will help to boost the economy and keep monies in the Bahamas.
Persons work very hard to bring quality service and quality products to the island. So we did the expo to bring the products to the people so that they could be aware of what's actually out there. Because you have a lot of persons that would say, oh, I didn't know about you, or I didn't know about that.
One of the main reasons for the expo is to give small business owners the opportunity to network. According to Rutherford, they did just that.
They've exchanged cards. They've started to, I guess, collaborate on certain projects. So it helps with growing the business because you never know who could help you. Hand come, hand go. You do for me today, I do for you tomorrow.
Overwhelmed and surprised, Pretty Little Secret owner Katina Moss says she was pleased with the turnout and the opportunity for local vendors to show the island what they had to offer.
This is awesome that everybody came out and support friends, family, just newcomers, people who never even know about the Circle Mall. Networking, this is the way to go. I mean, it's always, we go by who say I say kind of thing, you know, that kind of way, but at the same time we go by What can you give? Everything that you say, I want to get.
Grand Bahama's very own Miss Bahamas Universe, Tommy Culmer, stopped by the Business Expo to show her support, something her reign has opened her eyes to. She believes Bahamians are responsible for turning our economy around.
I really support entrepreneurs, especially young entrepreneurs, because in times like this, I think it's best to take what you know how to do and make your own business out of it when there are not a lot of job offers. But it's so important to support your Bahamians because we make the economy. Being in this position has showed me how important it is to have the support of your people, especially when you want to move internationally. But I think it's a great thing. This is a great event being put on today, and I'm so happy to see so many people coming out to actually support it.
This won't be the last time we see the Business Expo of this type. Coordinators are already planning the next one for you. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Members of the Grand Bahama Cancer Association learning about the nutritional and medicinal value of native plants. For the group of cancer survivors and supporters, the association's special meeting was a learning experience. Denise Worrell of Naturally Bahamian shared information on native teas, herbal products that have been passed down from past generations. Those attending heard about the value of the guava plant and how it can make a difference in fighting ailments.
That really impresses me about the guava is its cancer fighting properties, and that is documented in the States. Another one is used in diabetes treatment. It's fantastic. Another one is, we have some men here and I'm so happy about that. But if those of you who aren't ladies have a low sperm count, the guava will bring it right up. And you can use the guava leaves as well as the guava fruit. Isn't that wonderful? Let's give guava a hand.
Now, the castorella tree is popular in the islands of Acklins and in Eleuthera, but its value is known throughout the globe. Worrell says studies show that the bark can be used as a healing agent as well.
If you have cascarilla, you don't need to bother with the Zantac. The evidence is there that the cascarilla solves the problem just as well as Zantac does. I should really say Zantac solves it as well as cascarilla, because cascarilla was here a long time before Zantac. Okay, so, and it also helps with the liver. If you have liver conditions, the cascarilla bark will really help you with that. So we can use the cascarilla for more than just Campari. My grandmother was one of those persons who used to go out there and strip the bark and prepare it for sale. It would be sold to Europeans and other persons. And then they'd turn around and make Campari with it and sell it back to us.
And finally tonight, the Abaco community is mourning the passing of prominent businessman Jack Albury. The Marsh Harbor businessman was active in politics and in community affairs. He was a former partner with the Great Abaco Beach Hotel and current owner of the Albury's Trucking Company, as well as Frederick Agencies, which is the largest customs brokerage firm in Abaco. Jack Albury died this past Saturday at the age of 71. Stay with us to check on sports when we return. Topping sports, the Derek Nesbitt and Obie Welshcombe Senior Boys Basketball Championship started at the Jack Hayward Gym. Ricardo Lightborn could not pass up a good game, and he was courtside.
The Tabernacle Falcons and Sunland Stingers on court in Game 1 of the Senior Boys Series. The Falcons, Franco Miller with the ball and a lane to the basket. He's working on an 18-point ball game. You have a feeling that this was a game that would go down to the wire and execution. Here comes Tabby, Miller to Moss. Pressure in on Sunland. The Stingers with the ball. Watch the crisp passing. Tyler Davis scoring 2 with 22 points to boot. Coach Bain had seen enough and called the timeout. The Stingers coach Jay Philippe have a strategy, and it's working. Stingers ball and a momentum, and this one simply is called pressure hoops. Game 1 was physical, and the players with emotion and understand what is on the line. The story of the game, free throws. The Falcons unable to cash in, and simply when the clock is stopped. Keeping it close, Raheem Lang with the rock. Watch the baseline move to the hoop, then tack on the foul. Raheem working on an 18-point outing. Tabernacle with a 50% shooting from the floor. Martinborough here with the touch. Feeling the run and momentum, Russell with the rack, and boy, he's got 14 points to boot. Sunland was not phased and stepped up on defense, and the result, turnovers. The Stingers with the clock stop and also the charity stripe made every shot count and the edge in the game. The Falcons gave it all and left it on the court, hustle, and nothing for chance. The Sunland Stingers played tough on both ends of the floor and took game one 69-66. Travis Marsh had 13, Daniel Wright and Khalil Solomon both with 11. The Falcons have to regroup and come out Wednesday night ready to rumble. The Sunland Stingers are in a driver's seat and they're seeking that title at all cost.
In the junior girls playoff, Tabernacle over Jack Hayward Jr. 29-20. Sister Mary Patricia Russell nipped Sunland 33-27. Now in the regular season play, BMES junior girls defeated 8 Mile Rock 22-16. 8 Mile Rock senior girls over Jack Hayward 18-12. The Grand Bahama Primary School Sports Association Moon McPhee and Cecil Thompson basketball tournament came to a close at the Jack Hayward Gym on the weekend. In the girls' finals, Freedom Baptist defeated Carlton Francis 12-7. Alicia Duncombe named the most valuable player. Temple Christian was third. In the boys' finals, Temple Christian held off Carlton Francis 30-28. Cameron Tooth was the MVP in the consolation game. St. Cecilia defeated Freedom Baptist 13-4. And 5 fast-track athletes participated in the Jimmy Carnes Indoor Track and Field Meet in Gainesville, Florida. Fast-track coach Ravano Ferguson says exposing the athletes to meets out of the country is important, especially at the senior level. Coach Ray also found the meet successful for the fast-track athletes and staff. Raven Miller placed 7th in the long jump with 15 feet 6 inches and 30th in the 400 meters. Jonathan Thompson placed 34th in the 800 meters. The BMES seniors said their first indoor track meet proved to be beneficial and they enjoyed it. Over 2,500 athletes attended the Jimmy Carnes Indoor Track and Field Meet.
Most kids don't experience indoor meets until they actually go off to college. So we want to do something different for our athletes this year and give them that exposure to indoor track and field meet, and as it relates to them progressing in the track and field world, so they can be accustomed to it once they step onto the collegiate level. And all these kids are looking for scholarships once they graduate this year, so the exposure to the U.S. atmosphere is definitely a positive one for them.
Well, that's a check on sports.
The news is brought to you